This conference will now be recorded.
Okay guys, so here in this session, I'm going to start a new topic called project phase or ASAP methodology. Okay, what is this ASAP methodology or what is this project phases? We'll explain. But yesterday, I mean to say previous session. In previous session, what I have done, I covered a topic called how project comes to any organization. So in that topic, what I explained that whichever companies are, whichever the IT companies are there, they'll be having a survey team, and this survey team will keep on doing survey in the market to find out the prospective customers, and once whatever the final list is there, that is going to be hand over to the sales and marketing team. This sales and marketing team will motivate the client for SAP implementations and all. And once the client is agreed, then finally client is going to invite the quotations from different organizations. And once the quotation is finalized, and once the quotation is what is it finalized, and once the company confirm that okay we are going to we are agreed for implementations, and once they like select the company that so and so company is going to do this implementations and all, then the companies are going to send a team, then further discussions will be happening, and after final discussions the project will be finalized completely, and duration also will be finalized, that how much time it will take and when they are going to start up this project, right? Deadline also will be set up over there, and then the finally that project is going to be handed over to a zonal head or so-called delivery head or delivery manager. Okay, all three name are same, like designations are same. So a zonal head or delivery manager is going to this project is going to be handed over to a zonal head or delivery manager, and now generally, so once the project is handed over to delivery manager, then what delivery manager is going to do, guys? Since delivery manager will be having lots of project running under him, so he cannot alone handle each and every project. So now for this new project again, delivery manager is going to appoint a project manager. Okay, so this project manager is, you can say, a kind of leader, or the project manager will be all in all uh, for this project. Okay, so whichever if you talk about, and whatever the success and failure of the project is there, that is going to be the responsibility, or these all things, or whatever the if the project implemented successfully, then the credit goes to project manager. Appreciation also goes to project manager initially, and then finally all the team members. And even if the project become victim of failure, then even depreciation also goes to project manager initially. Employees are safe. But anyway, so here what is happening? Project manager will be appointed. Delivery head is going to appoint a project manager, and project manager. So as I said, like client is going to give deadline, that okay this much is the deadline, 8 months, 7 months, 9 months, depends upon the size of the organizations. Okay, but generally the ideal what to say duration for any implementation project is minimum 6 months, guys. Okay, so now here, that too for a medium sized organizations, or else if it is a big size organizations, then it will take lots of time. And even it depends upon the client how much cooperative those clients are. If you talk about uh, domestic projects here in India, then for my organizations, there are few projects which is still treated as a liability itself. Why? Because already the company, the cost is increased compared to the revenue which we have received from those projects. Like Kochi shipyard is there. For last 3-4 years, this project is keep on running. The client keeps on giving new requirements and all. And earlier, some mistake was made by project manager. Uh, and all. So because of that, the client is getting advantage that these things were committed by him or her or so and so, isn't it? If you talk about Vizag steel plant, that project is still running loss under loss itself, because implementation has been done long back. Still, our consultants are sitting over there to meet the requirement. So if you talk about my organizations, I'm talking about Wipro technology and all, then this company, or like any of the organizations, generally they don't want to lose their reputation, isn't it? So they don't care whether they are going to incur losses or profit and all. Ultimately, they have to satisfy the client in order to build their market value and a good image in the market, isn't it? So here, domestic project, almost every domestic projects are either in loss or is at no profit, no loss. Okay, but still, companies are involved in domestic projects. Why? Uh, because of this brand image itself, because of brand value, because of brand name and all, isn't it? If you talk about the profit and benefits, so the benefits are there from foreign clients, isn't it? So this is how they are able to what to say, fill up the gap which is taking place here in domestic projects and all. Losses doesn't mean that huge loss is there, but still there is no much benefit here in domestic project anyway. So what I'm saying here, that project, once it is once the project is like this finalized, it is handed over to delivery manager, and delivery manager is going to appoint a project manager, and this project is finally handed over to a project manager. As I said yesterday, that if the client says that, okay, you have to implement this project within 8 months. This is the deadline. So when this deadline is going to be started, so client will say that the moment you recruit your project manager and once he reach at our location, our countdown will begin. It means from that day onwards, we are going to count our 8 month. So the moment project manager reaches at client location, then what will happen? They'll be having a formal discussion with the clients. Formal discussion means what? Simply like whoever people involved in this project from client side, they will be having, project manager will be having a kind of introductory meeting, you can say, where like he will come to know that who are these all people, from which team they belongs to, like from each and every team there will be some representative and all, which I'm going to explain here. So the project manager, once project manager reaches at client location, then the project deadline is going to be started. Okay, so here the first activity will be done by project manager is, project manager is going to segregate this project in different phases. Okay, and different phases means what, guys? How many phases? The phases will be 5. Okay, and here if you talk about this 5 phases, then it's not like depends upon the project manager who can decide whether it is 4 phases, 5 phases, or 6 phases. This is the standard given by SAP. Okay, we cannot make it 4, we cannot make it 6. Always it will be 5 phase only, guys, keep in your mind. So project manager is going to segregate this project in 5 phases. So which is why it is called project phase, or else it is also called ASAP methodology. What is this ASAP methodology, guys? It is called accelerated SAP methodology. Accelerated SAP methodology. Now, if you talk about accelerated SAP methodology, what is happening? This methodology is going to accelerate the speed of implementations. And this is how it's a kind of roadmap. Okay, look at here, the picture is showing it's a kind of roadmap, or this methodology generally is going to accelerate the speed of implementations. Okay, so let's suppose this generally what is happening, why how it is going to accelerate the speeds, because if we have, or if the project got segregated in different phases, then project manager is going to set a deadline for each and every phases. If you talk about any different activities, let's suppose any construction activity is going on. Generally, I quote the example of a building construction. So it could be anything, isn't it? So here, if building construction is going on, or if a building construction, let's suppose supposed to be started. So what will happen in first phase? They are going to lay down the foundation of the building. In second phase, they are going to construct all the pillarings, and all pillar part will be there. In third phase, might be they are going to build up the walls and all. In fourth phase, they will be having like all this window and door installations will be there. In fifth phase, what will happen? All electric painting and electric work will be there, right? And in sixth phase, let's suppose what will happen? So once the building is ready in sixth phase, final inauguration is going to happen. Inauguration means then the people will be able to occupy their whatever the flats are there, or people will be the constructor is going to hand over the ownership to the whoever customers are there. So why they have segregated in different phases, guys? For every phase they are going to keep some deadline. Okay, if this is like foundation is going to be completed in 2 months, they must have to complete. If they feel that the work is slow, then they are going to increase the number of employee, in the sense the number of laborers and all, they are going to increase, and they must have to achieve that foundation constructions within 2 months itself. So this is how 2 months for foundations, 2 months for additional like there's a wall constructions and all, remaining 2 months like for door and window installations, isn't it? Likewise, or like 6 months or 7 months. So likewise, they will assume a final duration that okay, in 1 year we are going to complete the entire constructions work, and after 1 year we will be able to hand over the ownership to the customer, and based on these plan they are going to promise to the customers also, invest now and get the ownership of the flats after 1 year or 2 year, whatever the durations are there. So likewise here also in SAP also, this is also a project, it's an assignment. So in every phases, what is happening, project manager is going to give certain deadline that first phase must be completed in 15 days. Second phase, let's suppose 1.5 months. Third phase takes more time. Let's suppose it is going to take 3 months, right? Fourth phase might be 1 month or 2 months. And fifth phase is like I said, inauguration. So inauguration means there'll be a particular date. So likewise, go live and support, there'll be a particular date that I'll explain what is this go live and support. So this is how, guys, this entire project is going to be segregated in different phases, and generally it is going to be segregated in 5 phases itself. Those are project preparations, business blueprint, realization, final preparations, and go live and support. So for every phase there is a name. I'll explain one by one. This is a very important thing, guys. If you go for interview and all this, there will be lots of questions from these things also. So which is why I'm explaining in details. Now, so this is what the phases are there. We'll explain one by one what activities are happening in these phases. So the first phase is project preparations. And here what is happening? Initial planning and preparations for this project. So what are the initial planning, guys? The plannings are about the team size and team member, project planning, how the implementations will be proceeded, and kickoff meeting. So I'll tell you guys, I'll just explain it. Project manager is recruited, a project manager is hired. Now, how this entire project is going to be implemented? Project manager cannot implement the entire project alone. So he needs a team. Or even if you talk about consultant, so implementation doesn't mean that it can be performed by one consultant or two consultant or three consultant. Several consultants are required, isn't it? Because if you talk about an organization, that organizations are having several different activities, several departments are there, like sales department is there, material management, they'll be having purchase department, HR department, finance department, right? There'll be some other departments also. So every department will have different requirement, and if we have to meet those requirements, and here, so likewise, even SAP has also segregated that entire things in a different modules. Finance module, material management module, sales and distribution module, HR module, PS project system, production planning, quality management. These all are the module which is there in SAP. I'm talking about functional modules right now. So here, why there is a team required, guys? Because if they are going to, let's suppose project manager is going to invite a guy who is having exposure of finance module only, he or she can handle the configurations which belongs to finance module. They cannot handle the configuration part of sales and distributions module or material management module or any other module, because one can be expert of, you can be expert of only one thing, you can't be expert of each and everything. Each and every modules are just like person. So here, now what is happening? So project manager has to invite the expert of each and every module. Okay, so this is how he is going to decide the team size. So team size means, let's suppose he decided that I need total 30 number of employee. 30 number of employee means, I mean to say 30 consultants. Now, so in 30 consultants, it's not like all senior people only will be there, even junior people also will be there. Okay, so let's suppose for each and every module, one senior, one junior, one senior, one junior. Like that, he decided the total I need 30 member. So that can be increased or decreased later. Okay, because team members They keep on coming and going. Generally, decrease will this decreasement will never happen. It always like later on once the proceed, you know, what to say, sorry, once the project goes further, they have to increase the team size because they'll come to know that still the speed is slow. Now, so the team size, he decided about the team size. It has like, let's suppose 30 or 35 members are required. Then who are these all 35 members? So yesterday I explained, guys, whenever any what to say recruitment is happening. So let's suppose for this project they need some new member. So what is happening? First of all, project manager is going to have a look in free pool. What is this free pool? Yesterday I explained whichever consultants are not having any activity to perform, or let's suppose if somebody is working on a project and automatically this project is went to a different organization, then what is happening? Whichever employees are working for those projects, their profile is going to be moved to free pool. Okay, so this managers will be having access to this free pools and all. It will be there on their internal portals. So in free pool, they'll be having like all the details, your name, your module, your total experience. So this is how project manager will be able to see that how many people are there in finance module, how many people are there from module, how many people are there from SD module, isn't it? So he is going to pick up the candidates from their free pool, and if there is a requirement of senior also is going to be selected from there, junior also is going to be selected from there. But again, let's suppose if your profile moved to free pool and you got a call from the project manager and saying that, hi, this is XYZ and calling from so and so place, and we are having a project which is ongoing or which is going to be started soon. So I want you to be part of this project, right? But it doesn't mean that once they have offered, you must have to accept this. You can turn it down, you can reject the offer. If you don't want, let's suppose the project location is in Chennai and you are somewhere in Delhi, and if you don't want to be a part of that project, the first thing, or else if you don't want to relocate from Delhi to Chennai, that also could be a reason due to some personal issues and all. So you can reject the what to say this offers and all. Okay, you can say no, I'm looking for a project in Delhi location itself, so hence I'm unable to come to that location. So this is how it is happening, guys. But rejection doesn't mean that you are going to reject each and every offers. Okay, till five such kind of, if your profile is there in the free pool, I'm talking about my organization, how it is happening, or this is how what it is. It happens in almost every organizations. So if let's suppose if you don't want to be a part of that project, you can turn down the request, you can reject that offer. But you can, here we are having a limitations that you can reject only five offers. Till five offers you can reject that, okay, I don't want to be a part of this project, that project. But once you get the sixth offer and the location is hell also, you have to go over there. There is no any other opportunity. But generally such kind of situation does not arise, or it never happen. Why? Because for every organizations, resource management team will be there, and there also huge number of people are working in resource management. And what is their work, guys? Their work is individually, they will be in touch with each and every employee or consultant, whoever is there in free pool, and they will note down their specific requirement, what exactly they're looking for. Somebody saying that I want to be at Delhi location, somebody saying that I want to move to Mumbai location, somebody says that I want to move from Delhi to Bangalore. From Bangalore also somebody is saying that I want to move from Bangalore to Delhi. right? So this is what these people are doing. So they'll keep on adjusting these all things as per requirement, and it generally it happens as per the candidate requirement. They'll arrange the project at their respective location itself. Okay, and so what I'm saying, that project manager, let's suppose 90% of the requirement has been met through free pool itself. It means through internal recruitment itself, almost 25 consultant he got. Now what about remaining 5 consultant? So for that they have to go for external recruitment. They have to go for external recruitment. So external recruitment, once again, they are going to sort out the profile and all, and interview will take place, and they are going to invite the candidates. So this is how the team size and team member, in the sense team size has been decided 30 member or 35 member or 40 member, and then finally through internal and external hiring, the team members are going to be finalized. Okay, for everybody they'll be giving a deadline that you have to reach at this location and till so and so date. Okay, now after that, project planning is nothing but, guys, planning about how this project is going to move further, how we are going to meet the deadline of the client. Project manager is going to prepare a plan, and in that, like as I said, like this is going to be segregated in different phases, isn't it? Each and every phases uh, is having like certain deadline is going to be set, set. Okay, so these are the things which is happening in project planning. Now the last activity which is going to be happen in this phase is kick-off meeting. What is this kick-off meeting? So kick-off meeting is nothing but an introductory meeting, guys. Here what is happening, let's suppose I said like team of 30 people, they have reached at client location. So people are coming from different part of the country, and they don't know each other, right? So the first of all, everybody's now what is happening, these all people are going to be part of a team, and they have to work jointly. So before that, project manager is going to invite everybody, small conference room kind of, a hall or room will be there. So there what will happen, everybody's are going to gather together, and then one by one people are going to give their introductions, that hi, this is XYZ, I am from so and so place, and I am going to handle this project as a senior SAP FI consultant or junior SAP FI consultant or consultant, whichever the things are there, they are going to explain about themselves. And apart from this, just for the fun and all, they will say some personal hobbies or lots of things will be happen. So it's an internal meeting itself. Might be possible that sometime from client side also somebody will come and they'll sit. It's okay, but generally it is internal meeting itself. Kickoff meeting means among the team members. So everybody will introduce themselves, and then after, finally at last, project manager also will come, and project manager also will give the introductions, and project manager is going to explain the plan, how this implementation is going to take place, how much deadline he has given for each and every phases. Okay, why? Because this is must be. If project manager doesn't inform these deadline and all, then what will happen, guys? Consultant, like if there is no deadline, then the project, why to implement the project in 8 years, 8 months? It can be implemented in 8 years also, isn't it? So next day onwards, people will start celebrating parties and all, and they will think, okay, tomorrow we are going to start. Tomorrow we are going to start, and tomorrow never comes, right? So anyway, this is how the deadlines are going to be set up, and these all things will be explained by project manager. That client is expecting this project completion project must be completed within 8 months. Okay, so this is the deadline given by client, and every phases are given so and so, like first phase must be completed in these many months or these many days, second phase must be completed in these many months, these many days. Likewise, all the explanations will be given by project manager. And once the kickoff meeting is done, then what will happen? The first phase is going to be completed over there itself. So guys, these all activities are taking time. And which activity has taken more and more time? So the first activity, team member recruitment. This has taken time, isn't it? It may take 15 days, 20 days, or might be a month also. If you look at Naukri.com, what is happening? There are certain requirements where people will specify candidate must be able to join within 10 days, or candidate must be able to join within 15 days. Why? It means there is a requirement on implementation project. So in implementation project, your 3 month notice period, 2 month notice period is not acceptable, because this much time is not there, isn't it? People will say that we are looking for somebody who can join within 10 days. And in that case, even if you're going to jump out from your organizations without relieving letter, also people will accept. Why? Because here is the requirement, right? So anyway, so now here, once the kickoff meeting is done, then the first phase is going to be completed. Then we are going to move to the next phase called business blueprint phase. Now, what is happening in this phase, guys? So I'll explain. Look at here what I have written. In this phase, consultant will have a discussion with their respective core team member regarding business process, and will record the entire requirement in a document which is called blueprint. I'll tell you guys, if you talk about this blueprint phase, then what is happening here? We are going to have a discussion with the client. In this phase, we are going to have a discussion with the client. Why? Because in the first phase, whichever meeting has been done, these are internal meeting itself. So we don't have any interaction with the client as of now. But why everybody has gathered at client location? To meet their requirement. So of course, we need to have a discussion with those people also. So those discussions are going to happen in this phase itself. In this phase, we are going to discuss with the client. Now, if you talk about discussions, discussion doesn't mean that we are going to discuss with everybody. In Tata Motor, 50,000 employees will be there, or 40,000 employees will be there, or might be 10,000 employees will be there. So it doesn't mean that we are going to discuss with anyone. We have to discuss with a particular person, okay, or particular team. So if you talk about particular team, you guys are going to be finance consultant. So you have to discuss the requirement related to finance module itself. So to whom you have to discuss? You have to discuss with the finance team. Now, finance team also, if you talk about finance team, this finance team also will be having the minimum strength will be 200, 300 people will be the part of this finance team, since it is a big organization, or might be more than that. So how come it possible to discuss with the 400 people or 300 people at a time? So here what is happening, guys? Tata Motor is going to appoint a representative of that particular department. Okay, in the sense, like there will be a front face, there will be a contact person, we can say, or a spokesperson, or simply we can say like this representative of or contact person. Contact person in the sense, there'll be one person who is whoever the senior most guy is there, they will be appointed from finance team to help the consultants. Okay, so from finance team also, there'll be one senior guys is going to be decided that okay, this guy will be the contact person. So whenever we have to have discussion, we are going to discuss, or we are going to have a discussion with that particular contact person itself, whoever has been decided by client. Okay, so from finance team, let's suppose they said like these are the two guys with whom you can discuss, or this is the either two or one, whichever. Generally people are going to select two people, because uh, one will be the main contact person and second one will be the secondary contact person if the first one is absent. If the first one is absent and if we need certain input, then what will happen, guys? We are not going to find out who is the concerned person. We don't know out of these 300 people who is doing which activities. But this internal employee, the contact person, he's the senior most guy. He knows very well that okay, if the consultant required certain input, then who is the best person to provide this input. So this contact person responsibility is to cooperate the consultant or to help us. Okay. If we have any requirement, if we are having any, let's suppose we are doing our implementations and I need certain informations, I have to set up certain GL and I need certain informations regarding that. So out of 100 or 200 or 300, whichever the team is there of finance, whatever the finance team is there, I don't know who is the exact contact person for this requirement. So this is why Tata Motor is going to appoint a person, particular person, that whenever you have any such kind of queries, you just go and contact with that guy, and that guy is going to collect the informations from the team members, and that guy is going to pass on this information to the consultant. So this contact person, which is appointed by client, is called core team member. It is called CTM. This core team member is standard term, guys. Everywhere it is same. If somebody is going to give the customized name, then it's different. If you talk about my previous implementations, instead of CTM, people used to say champions. So that is a customized name. It means during the projects and all, they decided that we are not going to say, client says, "Arey yaar, why to say this core team member? It doesn't look good." So they said, tell them champions. Okay, it's okay. This is so it's not like that. You have to say core team member itself, but generally standard word or a standard term is called core team member. Whoever the representative of a particular department is there, that person or whichever the contact person is there, that is called core team member. Okay. So and in shortcut, it is called CTM. Okay. So generally what is happening, let's suppose if you become a consultant, if you are the part of project and you say like you are working, you have worked on some projects and all. If somebody has asked who was the CTM for that project, so what is happening? People are going to be confused. What is this CTM? Isn't it? So CTM stands for core team member, and core team member is nothing but the representative of your respective module from client side. Okay, so here in this page, consultant will have discussion with their respective core team member. Who is the core team member? I have already explained. Regarding business process, we went for implementations. Implementations means we have to do the implementations, we have to do certain configurations. What configurations, guys? So that will be like practical. Once I'm going to start the practical session, there I'll let you know. The all configurations are going to be explained in details. So if you have to configure something, it doesn't mean that simply we are going to start our configurations. First of all, we have to have a discussion with the client, right? So those discussions will happen. We are going to discuss the business process with the client. And one more thing, guys. This business process, if we have discussed the business process, then what will happen? It's not like that simply we have listened from client and we started working. Okay, we have to record this entire requirement. Okay, this entire requirement is going to be recorded on a document, and this document called blueprint document, guys. Okay, so based on blueprint document itself, we have to proceed further. Based on blueprint document itself, we have to proceed further. If I say like some of the project still the implementation is already done, still it is running, still the client is not satisfied. Why? Because whoever the earlier project manager was there, that project manager, due to certain reason, he quit or he left in the middle itself. Now what client is saying that he committed this, he committed that, he committed so and so things, right? But there is no any such document. So in that case, client will be always right. We cannot say that you are telling a lie, because the fault is there from our side, since they have not prepared or like they fail to document these all things due to, like, let's suppose the project manager left or certain whatever the issues are there. So the client is going to give lots of requirement, isn't it? So which is why still it is there in support phase, but they have kept some extra consultant and to meet their requirements and all. Now I think it might be closed. I don't know the current status, but still it has taken lots of time. It is like, let's suppose if the deadline is 1 year, it has taken almost more than 2.5 years. Okay, so here what is happening? All the requirement, whatever the discussions are happening with the client, those things are going to be recorded. Those things are going to be recorded. Those requirements are going to be recorded. Okay, and this is going to be documented also. These requirements are going to be documented also. This document is called blueprint. Before blueprint also, guys, we have to prepare some informal document. What are those documents? That also will be explained. There'll be a separate topic I'll cover, types of documents. There I'll give a detailed explanations. Right now we'll explain about blueprint. So here in blueprint, what is happening? Let's suppose we have recorded all the requirement. If you talk about preparation of blueprint, it doesn't mean that we are going to prepare a blueprint from scratch, from beginning. No. Every organizations will be having certain templates. Template is nothing but the previous blueprint which is prepared for a different client. So the consultant is going to copy those blueprint. It will be there somewhere in shared folder. So you need to copy a blueprint from there and save it on your desktop, and simply we are going to edit those blueprint itself. So if we talk about the processes, it is quite similar. Hardly 10-15% changes or modifications will be done, and then after it is going to be sent to the client for approval. Okay, I'll tell you guys, there is one more thing. Let's suppose we are going to uh, give the name of a blueprint. Okay, so once once we have prepared, once the blueprint is done, once blueprint is prepared, then finally we have to send it to the client for approval, that this is the final discussion which has happened between you and us, and we have documented these all things. Please find it, the attached document. Please find the attached document and provide your approval so that we can proceed further. Client has not approved. Okay, client find out like some mistakes are there or somewhere some changes are required, what we have done, so they are going to revert it with the required changes. It means they will just underline the things which is need to be changed. They will strike off the text if any text is required to be removed. Whatever the suggestions are there, they will give their suggestions. They will highlight those things which is need to be changed, and they will revert it back. So what we have done, we have removed all those things, and again we have sent it to the client. Client is saying that no, still this one is also not approved. Okay, still some fault they found. Let's suppose some of the process we have explained and the accounting entry which is written, that is wrong, or the process descriptions which we have given, again it is wrong. So again in second time also they found some mistakes, and they have notified that you need to change these things also. Again we are going to incorporate those changes, and here I'll change the version name, and I'm going to send it back to the client. So here what is happening, guys? Now client is going to approve this. So I've seen during interview in 2-3 companies, people or interviewer have has asked like, which version of blueprint do you send to the client for approval? So what is your answers, guys? What would you say? Look at your screen and tell me your answers. Which version of blueprint we send to the client for sign off? What is this sign off, guys? I'll tell you. First of all, so we have sent the first version 1.0 for approval. Client says no. We have sent a revised version, that is version 1.1. This is also disapproved. Client says recommended few more changes. Okay, so once again we are going to make the changes in our document, and that document is blueprint document. So we just made the changes and we changed the version. In this sense, document name version got changed, and we send it to the client version 1.2. This is approved. So whichever this this version has been approved. Now what will happen? We are going to take the printout of this version and will produce before client for signature. That you do one thing, you provide your signature, so that we are going to then this is how it will be considered as a final version. And why signatures are required? Not only client, even consultant also will give their signatures, project manager also will give their signatures, and from client side also, whoever the respective core team members are there, they will also give their signature. Okay, so why there is a signature, guys? Why we are going to take the printout and taking the signature? Because once you take the signature, it means we are saying that now the blueprint is finalized. So here we are going to freeze all the requirement. It means today onwards, there is no more new requirement is going to be considered by us. It means today onwards, we are not going to accept a new requirement. Okay, whichever requirement you have given till today is accepted. We have already documented those things. Tomorrow onwards, if you are going to come up with a new requirement, we cannot accept. Why? Because we must have to complete the project within the deadline, right? So if we don't restrict, or if you don't apply such kind of restrictions, then the result will be they're like this Kochi shipyard or Vizag steel plant itself, isn't it? They'll keep on coming with new requirement, and people have to do. So now what is happening here? So this is what the signature Once the blueprint is approved, we'll have to take the printout and we are going to go for the signature, or this is called sign off. We have to take the sign off from client. So people will ask the question that which version of blueprint do we send or to the client for the final sign off. So you just let me know. You can unmute and say and answers, or else even you can in comment box also you can write your answer. Okay, so which version of blueprint we are going to send to the client for sign off purposes, guys? What is your answer? Let me know. Okay, so Amrit has given the comment. What about others? Which version? Sudarshan has also given comment, the same comment, version 1.2. Raj is also saying version 1.2. Okay, so guys, generally if I ask anything, try to reply something from each and every candidate so that I'll come to know that okay, you guys are there in this session, right? Or else, okay, Sunil has also given this reply. Okay, so now I'll tell you. Let's suppose in version 1.2 also client is saying no, still they found some mistake. So now what will happen? Once again we have to change the version, right? So if you talk about the question, then interviewer is not going to give such kind of example. Okay, interviewer will not give such kind of example. Interviewer will simply ask that which version of blueprint you are going to send to the client for sign off purposes. So guys, I'll tell you, whichever version which is not approved, the version which is not approved, this is called draft version. Okay, so the first one is not approved, it is draft version. Second one is also not approved, this is draft version. Let's suppose third one is also not approved, this is also the draft version. Now Amrit has given the correct reply, the final version which get approved. Yes, so the last which approved is called final version. So what we have to send to the client? We have to send the final version. Final version which get approved, or else if you are unable to remember such kind of draft and final, you can say the version which is approved by client. Okay, this is the correct answer, right? So generally it's a final version. Final version is a version which is approved by client. Okay, so the final version we are going to send it to the client for the sign off purpose. Okay, and once the sign off is done, then the requirement is going to be freezed. It means there is no more requirement is going to be accepted. But guys, generally this is the rule. But I'll tell you, generally rules are made to breach, isn't it? Rules are made to breach. So here what is happening in Hindi? It is called rule तोड़ने के लिए बना होता है. I don't know, like everybody are not able to understand Hindi, but here, so that's what I said. Rules are made to breach. So here what is happening, guys, in real time, even though the blueprint is prepared, we have taken the sign off and all, and later on if the client is coming with the new requirement, then they are going to convince the project manager. Project manager will say that okay, you do one thing, increase the amount, because if the project has been committed within let's suppose 10 crore rupees, they will say that increase the amount and increase the duration. So this is how what is happening. If the client is agreed, they'll increase some amount and they'll increase the duration also, isn't it? So again, whatever the blueprint has been prepared, the same blueprint, again we are going to make some modifications in the soft copy. We'll do some modifications in the soft copy, and whichever the previously hard copy was there, that is going to be thrown in the dustbin, and we'll have to take a new printout of the modified blueprint, and again we can take the sign off on that. So these things are happening, guys. It's as per the requirement. People will keep on adjusting these all things, and since companies having like their revenue is going to be increased, so which is why people are going to change the rules and all. So the rules are going to be changed as per our convenience and all, isn't it? But this is the standard things, like once the sign off has done, then we are not going to receive any new requirement from client. Okay, so this is what it's happening in blueprint phase, guys. Finally, what is happening? We have to prepare a document. In this phase, we will be having a discussion with the client, and whichever discussion has happened, those discussions or those requirements are going to be recorded on a document. That document is called blueprint, and which is why this phase is called blueprint phase. Why? Because what is the overall result of this phase, guys? The overall result of this phase is, after having discussions, we are going to prepare a document, and that document is called blueprint. It means we have prepared a blueprint. This blueprint is a document where we are going to specify all the deliverables in the sense, whichever things we are going to promise to the client, that we can deliver this one, we can deliver that one, we can deliver XYZ. These all things are going to be specified in the blueprint, and these all things are going to be specified in a document, and that document is called blueprint, and which is why it is called blueprint phase. Okay, so once the blueprint is prepared, we have to send it to the client for approval. Once it is approved, we have to take the printout, and we'll go for the final sign off. Once the sign off is done, then this page is over there itself. Then we are going to move to a next phase, which is called a realization phase. What is happening in realization phase, guys? Again, there are lots of things need to be discussed in that phase also. So that is going to be discussed, that is going to be explained in next phase, sorry, in next session. So that's all in this session, guys, and that's all for today.